Welcome to Sales Talk, where I get to share with you my over 20 years of sales, business, entrepreneurial experience. So, today I'd like to spend a little time and talk about the weight of the words that we choose to use and also parodies. So, during my self awareness journey, I have certainly learned a lot about myself and as much about other people. Being an observer for such a long time and watching others engage in conversation has taught me a lot about myself and how my upbringing to present has influenced my thoughts. We all have our own opinions, sure. However, why are some people more sensitive to the words that are exchanged than others? We all have our core fundamental selection of words we use to communicate. The meaning and the context is where misunderstanding and lost in translation occurs. We don't need to define every word that we distribute. Instead, it's our responsibility to recognize that each word holds significant weight in shaping our perception of their value and meaning within the context of our conversations. Let's take a closer look at a couple of examples here. Is it a choice or a decision? Is I apologize the same as I'm sorry? It begins with our association to words. The weight you attach to words defines the meaning. It could be the programming from our youth. Maybe we watched someone significant continually saying, I'm sorry, even if this person had no responsibility for the action. By saying I'm sorry takes on the responsibility as if the person saying it is responsible. This is why it's important to differentiate them. By apologizing for someone else's actions takes the heavy responsibility off us and directs it where it should be. I apologize shows support for the person needing that, and it may be all that they are looking for. In my opinion, to say that you are sorry commits yourself to acting differently. When we take personal responsibility for our actions, we make a shift. This shift is supported by our future actions. We build a value system which supports our core foundation, which reflects our moral code. The same is true for the choices we make. Choices are the support legs for the decisions we are committed to. We see the same weight relationship here. A choice carries less weight than a decision. A decision is a commitment for necessary change. The decision we make carries much higher responsibility. In both of these concepts, the general consensus is that these are the same. I agree that they are and can be used interchangeably. However, after examining them individually, you will notice that they are very different. For me, the words choice and apology encourage that the results are offering flexibility and room for lack of action, where the words I'm sorry and decision demand change and hold more accountability when we choose to use these words. These parodies show up often in our language. And in the realm of self development, we understand the significance of words, and it's crucial to clearly define the standards to which you will hold yourself accountable for these words. Whenever I tell someone that I apologize for something, it refers to something that I cannot control and have very little influence over making a change to. I can't apologize for anything. It could be that the airplane arrival is delayed, or that your guest's food that they ordered at the restaurant is not prepared the way that they ordered it. If you make a promise to someone and your intent was to keep that promise and make a lasting change, then consciously choose to break that promise, you are sorry for breaking that promise and fully intend to learn from this action and will act differently in the future. I believe that when someone says that they are sorry for everything and not gauging the independent meaning of these words and singularly puts a lot of more pressure on our subconscious, adding stress. If you can take some of the weight off of the situation, this will make it easier to prioritize our attended meaning to it, allowing us to focus on higher priorities. You can dismiss I apologies and choice. Throughout my life, and I'm confident in yours as well, you gauge whether or not an apology is necessary or I'm sorry is more appropriate based on the degree of regret that is attached. You can only know this by past experience. This is also a great indicator to recognize where change is necessary. This is relative because this is the point where we tend to either repeat our past or break the cycle of our past. We notice this in extreme examples because they offer clarity. For example, The cheating spouse promises not to engage in this act again and fully intends to make amends. They are sorry for this action. The alcoholic who promises not to take another drink and then is sorry for their action and fully intends to act differently. Both of these scenarios have regret attached to them. The more the action is contradicted, the more weight of the regret that exists. We are often sorry for relationships that matter most, and we apologize for insignificant acquaintances. The parity of choice and decision are very similar. We make choices every day, all day. The choice to hit the snooze button every morning so that we can sleep just a little bit longer, or the choice to wear certain clothes. We choose what we're going to eat for dinner. We choose what actions we are going to take on any given day. To make a decision is to decide to make a lasting change, to cut off from the past and make conscious change moving forward. To decide to never hit the snooze button again, and to put your feet on the floor as soon as the alarm sounds and recite 4 things that you are grateful for. We decide that in order to improve time management, I'm going to pick out my clothes for the day the night before and set them out. Decisions should take more time to consider the pros and cons and prepare for the results the decision will offer. When a decision is made, there are support legs or a strategy of participation to encourage the decision. The choices we make are these legs. Choices do not require as much proactive consideration. Once a choice is made, you should not hold as much value to the outcome as a decision. The differences between choice and decision are the degree of accountability towards the choice compared to the decision. You can dismiss a choice without having a large degree of effect on your life. Similarly, it is much more difficult to dismiss a decision since the purpose of a decision is to make lasting change. The alcoholic who decides to quit drinking and manages to stay alcohol-free is a quality decision backed by a time element. Or what about the cheating spouse that made the decision to never cheat again and held to that decision? Both of these parodies are similar in that they both offer a degree of severity and time. The severity is relative to the associated regret or guilt by not following through, and the other can be dismissed without having much effect. Here's the caveat. We get to decide how much weight each of these concepts, apology, sorry, choice, and decision, have on our core foundation, our moral code, and the important role each plays in our self-discovery. Regret shows up when we focus on our past, the decisions we didn't make, and the wishes to have made different choices related to the decisions we did make. Realizing the decisions we did not make in the past and how that decision looks 10, 15, 20 years later, for example. For example, 15 years ago, I chose to take $100,000 out of the NASDAQ stock exchange because I was influenced through a book I read suggesting that the market was shifting and to sell my stocks. If I would have left the money in the stock market, it would be worth 3 times as much money today. I regret not leaving the money in the market. In hindsight, with 2020 clarity, it would have been a better choice for me to keep the money invested. Oftentimes, we do not realize the effects of our decisions and choices for years later. I decided that I would be better informed by learning about the stock market before making a reactive choice in the future. We can minimize our risks of our choices and decisions through self-discovery and a commitment to live a life of learning and growth. These experiences over time will allow us to learn the lessons of our past and through actions make better educated decisions. The lesson here is that I should have considered more than one source to influence my choice to take money out of the market. You're probably thinking that this sounds more like a decision and not a choice. For goodness sake, Dan, there's $100,000 on the line. Once again, it's relative to the weight we attach. Sure, it was $100,000 and that's a lot of money. The lesson I learned as a result was priceless. For me, saying I'm sorry as often as I did, I began to ask myself, what am I really sorry for? Why does this mean so much to me? Why is it showing up so often? Asking yourself thought-provoking questions will help guide you through your personal growth. If you got anything out of this video, please like, share, and comment. Your input will help our channel grow and improve. Thank you for watching. Make it a great day. And until next time, be kind to one another. Take care.